In 2024, I made a quick decision of moving to France for a year of exchange study. But only after 6 months, now I'm back here. Where is it? In Tokyo. So what actually happened to me in France, and would I recommend you to go to France for exchange study? You're gonna find out in this video. Who should go to France or in Paris to study? First, if you're really interested in history, into art, Paris is definitely a city for you. At least like 10 museums I know in there are free for students. Oops. So you can actually just enjoy your life in there as someone who is passionate about art. If you are not studying art, just immersing yourself in there is already good enough for your personal development, and that was my case. I was interested in photography at that time, and just immersing myself into the street. Oh, also the architecture, yes, just immersing myself into the architecture. Whenever I pick up a camera, the view is just incredible. And yeah, it's set for you if you're interested in art. Well, secondly, you should definitely come to Paris or in France to improve your French. If you have studied French a little bit before, that is definitely a place for you. Well, French is going to be my third foreign language, to be honest. My first language is Chinese, second language is English, third language is Japanese, and fourth is French. And I have no idea how to speak French before applying to the exchange. And after the decision has been made, before the departure of 2 months, I decided to learn French all of a sudden, and it was pretty tough to me, to be honest. Bonjour. So if you're not someone who is willing to learn a foreign language, then France is definitely not a place for you, because they are not really welcome for someone who who is not willing at least to try to speak the language. But if you show your effort, at least show your effort of trying to adapting yourself into the local culture, the Parisian people will love you. Wow. They will just be really nice to you. I have never met any Parisian stereotype of being rude to you. It has never happened to me. But I feel like most of the case for the others, they are not really open to the foreign culture. Yeah, the exchange study is definitely a wonderful opportunity for you to deepen your international cultivation. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. And here is not a comment after you made about your academic rigor. So, the European system is so different from the education system, at least in Japan. They designed the exam to a point that only 50%, no, the average score of my classmates in the exam were 50%. It was crazy. The first day I was in the class, and I remember my professor of economics, he was drawing the things on the whiteboard, and the thing he drew and the thing he said doesn't really make sense to me. Because all the mathematics symbols that he was using, I have never 50% of them, I have never seen any of them before. So as I said probably before, they are really focused on theoretical math. And this is something that I have been lacking in my foundational education. And this such gap is really hard to fill. It's not overnight you can go over these things again. Because even for their bachelor students, they have in their first year they have a course called How to Write Math. They have a course on how to write math, and if I haven't taken their course, it means that I'm not even on the same wavelength. I couldn't even communicate with them, even if we both speak English. I was like, oh my god, that was totally screwed for me. But I also heard from other universities in France, the way they design the exam or the classes is really they want you to spend 100% of your time on studying. That was definitely not something I want to do. Definitely not. At least this exchange study told me that I'm not really made for studying, and it also shows that I'm not really interested in economics after all. And that's a good thing about exchange study. You can find yourself through your failure. But you know, why I was on the street? Because I just got back from the gym and I'm going to meet my friend. But here is actually another thing about Paris that is so good. It is so international that you can find the food from any country in there. Now I have tried a bunch of food I have never tried before.
How do you feel?
Still, I miss the food in Japan. Alright, now we are back on our way to meet our friend. But so at the same time, it's really hard for me to make an authentic French friend. I think it's primarily because of my language skill. My French isn't that good enough, considering that I only had 2 months of study before going there. So I will definitely work on that. And what's the next step for me? Well, I just got admitted to HEC. It is another very well-known business school in France. Through this, I wanted to hone my skill not only as a business student, but at the same time, I want to connect more with French culture and challenge myself to speak French fluently by the end of study, or by the end of first year of study. And yes, that was me. So I meet the 2 criteria before. 1, I love French culture. 2, I love art. So France is definitely a place for me. But is that really a place for you? You'll consider that.